With the first selection in the 2001 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Vick, quarterback, Virginia Tech.
When Mike Vick was drafted, the NFL changed forever. We had seen other athletic quarterbacks, but none like this. Vick was the definition of electric.
And all that electricity
sparked a brand new generation that has kept evolving and evolving. But before we talk about the new generation, let's get back to Vick. The world was on notice while he was at Virginia Tech. As a freshman, Vick led an undefeated Hokies team to the national championship and finished third in Heisman voting. With that much instant success, the college football world would only see one more year of Mike Vick. After his redshirt sophomore season, Vick declared for the NFL draft. And look, we had seen college quarterbacks who could run before, quarterbacks who had won the Heisman, quarterbacks who had led their team to national championships. But if you ever saw Vick play ball at Virginia Tech, the feeling was different. Even with that, no one knew how his game would translate into the NFL. It was not the perfect match. It was the perfect storm. Lightning fast with a rocket arm, the left-hander from Newport News, Virginia, was an instant hit. Ratings shot through the roof, merchandise flew off the shelves, and a star was born. The NFL, a league full of superstars, had never seen a quarterback like this before. If you're still wondering why we should thank Mike Vick, the reason is something he probably didn't even expect himself. Okay, look, hold on, stop the tape. If you didn't believe me, listen to what Coach got to say.
This was somebody who spoke their language, who looked like they did, who played the way they wished they could play.
See? I told you. Now listen to DJ.
He had the headband on, the braids. As a young Pop Warner guy, I tried to imitate him every time I got a chance to.
And that's when Vick became the bar. Everyone wanted to be like Vick. As we look around the league today, we have Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, Malik Cunningham. Quarterbacks who seem to be straight from the Mike Vick tree. And then we have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, who are quarterbacks who have benefited from the new style that Vick ushered in and made so desirable. Don't get me wrong, we had mobile quarterbacks before Vick. But as I said earlier, Vick became the bar. But this wasn't a smooth transition, and it wasn't instant. A large number of quarterbacks who fit the Vick type of description never were given the proper opportunity to showcase their true talent and ability. Times were different. Coaches were stubborn, very stubborn. Often these dynamic quarterbacks were forced to change what made them special. Even after having great success in college, high school, and throughout youth leagues, these players would get drafted and instantly be handcuffed, which led them to have very short careers that will forever leave us wondering, what if? The NFL seemed determined to maintain the status quo by limiting these quarterbacks from playing the wide open style that made them so popular and forced them to conform into being robot pocket passers. There's a graveyard of former coaches who couldn't get out of their own way and break away from the norm. Their downfalls are very easy to see. And if only they would have allowed the player they admired in college to continue playing with the same freedom that made them stand out, things may have been different, much different. Hindsight is 20/20, but this was pure insanity to expect the player to abandon what made them special and expect success while playing against the best players in the world. Even after the rise of Mike Vick and witnessing all of the opportunities having a super athlete leading the NFL franchise could bring, this sadly remained the standard for years. In 2010, there was a quarterback at the University of Auburn by the name of Cam Newton. 2 years removed from a dismissal from the University of Florida, and 1 year from his revival at Belen Junior College, where he won the NJCAA National Football title. A little over 10 years since Vick set the NCAA on fire with his playmaking ability, there was a new flame starting to burn in Auburn, Alabama. Cam went on to have one of the greatest college seasons we ever seen, breaking the SEC record for rushing yards in a season by a quarterback, and while being only the second quarterback to ever rush for 1,000 yards in the conference history. A milestone that took 40 years for anyone to accomplish again. But it wasn't just his running ability that stood out. Cam was throwing the ball all over the field. In the SEC championship game, he threw for a season-high 335 yards. Cam went on to lead his team to the BCS National Championship game and win the title. Capping off an amazing year, which saw him win the Heisman Trophy, Cam joined another premier club that year by becoming the third player in NCAA FBS history to throw and run for 20-plus touchdowns in a season, joining Tim Tebow. Cam finished the 2010 season with 2,854 yards passing, with 30 touchdowns through the air, while rushing for 1,473 yards and 20 touchdowns. One other player joined that club in 2010 as well. Actually, him and Cam reached that milestone on the same day. Across the country, there was another quarterback putting up very impressive numbers with his arm and his legs for the Nevada Wolfpack, Colin Kaepernick. Unlike Cam, there wasn't as much fanfare around him. But what he was doing was catching the eye of the NFL as well. Throwing for 3,022 yards, 21 touchdowns, and rushing for 1,206 yards with 20 touchdowns, Cap had put himself in the quarterbacks of the future conversation. Cam and Cap were both selected in the 2011 NFL Draft, with Cam being the first pick of the draft and Cap being selected in the second round at pick number 36. This draft also included another member of the Vick tree, Tyrod Taylor, who was selected at pick number 180 in the 6th round. When Cam arrived in Charlotte, he didn't miss a beat. Even with the offseason lockout limiting the contact between Cam and the Panther organization, Cam went on to become the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the 2011 season. Later, Cam would take the Panthers to the Super Bowl and win the NFL MVP award in the same year in 2015. Cap was greeted with a different situation after being drafted. He was behind Alex Smith, a former #1 overall selection and the leader of the San Francisco 49ers. After watching for a season, Cap got his first real opportunity in year 2, 2012, when Smith went down. Up until this point, Cap was mostly being used as a change of pace. He would come into the games to run the ball. After Smith got hurt, the view of Cap changed. And just like with Vick, he brought another gear to the field. So much so, when Alex Smith had recovered from his injury, the 49ers decided to stick with Cap and prepare to make a run to win the Super Bowl. Kaepernick and the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl that year and lost a nail-biter to the Baltimore Ravens. With Cam and Cap having such great success, playing the quarterback position the same way they had in college, throwing the ball, running the ball, having fun, everyone was on notice. And everyone slowly started looking for the next quarterback who could make their team more dynamic. At this moment is where the big shift happened. The dark days of Mike Vick being scrutinized for trying to make plays and not being a traditional passer were over. The quarterback position had finally entered into a new era. Looking around the league today, QBs come in all different shapes, sizes, and styles. The old school traditional pocket passer is starting to fade away. The best in the league currently have escapability and playmaking ability to extend the play. The same style that Mike Vick put on full display in the early 2000s. If you do the math, the stars of today were kids when Mike was in Atlanta or in Philly. Maybe they even seen quarterbacks emulating Vick in his roller coaster style of play. The same way, if you ever touched a basketball, you want to be like Mike, or if you shot a piece of trash and said Kobe, Vick's legacy on the field was cemented by his fast-paced, unorthodox style of play that burned a forever-lasting image into football fans around the world. There were a lot of ups and downs in Mike Vick's career, but it's safe to say that he ushered in a new generation of quarterback, a new generation of playmakers. And next time, I will show you how the defense had to learn to adapt to these video game-created abilities. Hey, I appreciate you listening today. I appreciate you joining us on this journey to learn why we should thank Mike Vick. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. Let me know the first time you seen Vick play. Was it live? Was it a highlight? Either way, I know you remember. The man's style was electric. I appreciate you once again. Legit Jonex, I'm out.